Alright guys, I'm back after my hiatus of not being active on YouTube, not being updated with you guys, whatever, blah blah blah. So I've been going through some stuff, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get right to it. I got my new car review. Well, new car review. So go over here and nobody, I don't know if anybody guessed it or I never even put it out there, but here it is. 2013 Hyundai Genesis Coupe R-Spec, and I've had this thing, believe it or not, for 2 months. Why haven't I recorded anything about it? Because it was a piece of dookie balls shit. Previous owner was a piece of shit in terms of taking care of it, as I'm now learning on all forums about the Genesis platform. Whenever people buy them and everything, they don't trust the previous owner of them, and I so happened to get the short end of the stick, and it wasn't what I intended it to be at all from when it was advertised on Facebook Marketplace, because that's where I got it from. Yeah, I mean, it's just a big shit. It was a big shit show. I mean, car has an aftermarket bigger intercooler by Turbo XS. Don't know the company, it's just on there. I pretty much got the car. It wasn't my first choice at all. It was my last choice, believe it or not. I'll tell you my first two choices. Well, my first choice was a 2008, I think, Audi S5. I always liked that platform. I always wanted it, the platform. It's a V8 all-wheel drive stick shift Audi. I always dreamed about getting one of those ever since I was like 16, and I almost had one from a friend, and he ended up selling it literally the day before I got my check from insurance. So I just knew that wasn't meant to be. And then I almost got a BMW 128i. I think it was a 2011 or 2009, whichever one. I heard it was a reliable platform, and it had looked pretty good. It drove pretty good. But the guy was really being like, I was gonna buy it the next day, but then he texted me talking about oh yeah, I forgot the title. And I'm like, how you gonna forget a title when someone's gonna buy the car from you and they told you that? So it just kind of felt fishy, so I just opted out on it. And story behold, I saw this one on Facebook Marketplace, and it checked on the list and everything, and it sounded so good. The guy was communicative and everything, and he just like told me like what he advertised it as was, it had, you know, all these upgrades to it, you know, bigger intercooler, bigger wheels, good tires, you know, good clutch, it was drivable, all this good stuff, subs in the back and all this, you know, just making it seem like it was good. It was like a good condition car. The only problem was that the bumper, it just needed some TLC, you know, on cosmetic stuff, you know. Not, the paint's not good. Needs a little had a little respray accident right here, did a bad job right here. I mean, just little, you know, he made it seem like it was just cosmetic stuff that I needed to do to the car. Nope, it surely was not, because I went down there. He was in Albany. I got the car from Albany, Georgia. He was down there, and he had all the stock parts. He put all the stock parts in the car for me, so that way I wouldn't have to go back and forth, make 2 trips. He put it all in here, gave me stock wheels, stock intercooler, just a whole bunch of stock parts for it. And, you know, I saw the car. I was like, yeah, look, yeah, you know, need TLC, you know, whatever. Originally, the car price of this was $9,000. No, well, for his thing, it was $9,700 or best offer. I offered him $9,000. So I go down there, I kept seeing, I'm like, all right, cool, you know, and just need some little love, you know, some little love and care about it, whatever. And you know, he starts it up. It sounded good, sounded pretty good and everything. And obviously, as a buyer, you know, I don't ever feel comfortable when I'm doing like test drives and other people's cars that I'm about to buy from. I didn't want to drive it, so I let him drive it, so I can see how he drives the car, so I can get an understanding of what's going on. So I'm in the passenger seat, he drives it, car drives, show me all this extra stuff, you know, whoop de whoop. And yeah, car drove. I was like, all right, cool. It drove, sounded good, got all stuff in it. And, you know, I made the transaction. I give him the little money order. He's good to go, and I drive it. First thing I notice when driving the car is the power steering. I'm like, okay, power steering, whoop de whoop. You know, it wasn't very bad. Like, it worked whenever I was taking off. So it was just, you know, it was really tough when it was at a dead stop. The car was at a dead stop, so it would just not work in the terms of power steering. I would have the hard time. But once the car started moving, power steering worked perfectly fine. So I was like in the back of my head, like, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. I'm going through, driving through. It was like a 3-hour drive back to where I need to go. Driving it. Realized the setup he had back here, and I guess the aftermarket coilovers or whatever, really stiff. Bouncing around and shit. I'm like, this reminds me of Static Boys. And I'm like, I don't know how these boys do it, but salute to them. I've always saluted Static people that just sit there and max out their coilovers and drive static. Give them salute, bro. They got balls. I can't do that shit. So, driving 3 hours, 3 hours up there. And, the next day, I tell the guy, I'm like, hey, did you know anything about the power steering pump? He was like, probably, just, kind of brushed it off, made it seem like it was just probably like some other, thing, like it just needs some power steering fluid. So I see the power steering fluid in the car, and it was full. So I was like, all right, I'll give you, it wasn't really full, but it was like halfway full. So I filled it back up and didn't fix the issue. So I drove around some more, and the next day, I can't go in the gears. I'm having a hard time going in the first or reverse. So I'm just struggling. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? So I take it to a shop to get the power steering first, because I wanted to get the power steering done, because I can't drive a car if there's no power steering, right? Like at this point, the whole getting in the gears wasn't as bad as I'm about to tell you guys. So power steering was really getting on my nerves, and I needed to drive the car. So I drove it, power steering, cool. I get it. I take it over there for a quote. Charged me $1,000, bro, for a whole power steering replacement. Now, power steering itself was $1,000. The labor didn't even matter. $1,000 for power steering replacement, new power steering replacement. And I'm calling around, like looking on websites, Googling, trying to find a cheaper way. And the ones I was finding wasn't for this car. So I'm just like calling dealerships and seeing like if the price was really true. And they were like, yeah, there was only 2 in the country at this point. So I was like, and it's really $1,000. And I'm like, you know what? I bit the bullet, paid the $1,000, got the power works fine. And so I got the power steering in here, started driving, and then I started having really issues with the clutch engagement and getting in the first gear and getting reverse and everything. But the only issue was that when I'm on the highway, or was on the highway at first, I was able to go through, like, in picking up the speed, I was able to go through all the gears. Pretty simple, but it wasn't like fully engaging. It was like I was floating through the gears. So I was just sitting there like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. This is about a week into having the car. I didn't even get to drive it as much. And I'm just sitting here texting the guy like, yo, this doesn't, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I have a check engine light, and he tells me, like how to get it, because I need to pass emissions, because where he was at, that was on me. I bite the bill on there. I didn't think about all this through, about the whole check engine light, and where I live, I need to get the emissions for it to get it registered. So I have to deal with that. And it was just an O2 sensor, which is pretty simple. Easy fix. But the clutch thing, he was not being very transparent about it. So I was just sitting there asking him multiple times about it, and he was like, it has a 6-puck stage competition clutch, whatever, blah blah blah, really aggressive clutch. So I'm thinking this is the nature of it, right? I'm thinking like, oh yeah, it just needs a clutch bleed or an adjustment. So I bring it up here, bleed the clutch, and it almost fucking worked. And then my hopes went down because it stopped working after I was driving it, after I bled the clutch multiple times. And then at this point I was like, something's wrong with the clutch. And so I dropped the trans, found the issue, very bad piece, like clutch was fucked up, flywheel was burnt up. No, actually I think I have, okay, I found this is the old clutch. This is the old clutch disc. Let me show you guys. Look. What do you guys see here? Look at that. Chip just burnt the fuck out. Like, it's seen some better days. It's seen some really better days. Right? And this was a competition clutch 6-puck. Don't know why this was in here. I don't know what I don't get it. And let me show you this pressure plate. Let me show you this. This was in here. Score marks. Just fucked. Like, this was in here. That was in the fucking car. Just completely fucked, right? And I'm gonna show you guys the flywheel. It's a heavy ass flywheel. Like, it's a heavy ass flywheel. And this was the flywheel. This was the flywheel in the fucking car. Look at it. seen some fucking better days. Like, if you guys like seen, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's people out there that's like had like fucked up flywheels, clutches and shit. And the guy made it seem like the car was in good shape, and it made me upset that I come into this issue like, you know, this is a major issue. Like, this is a major issue. Like, you make it seem like the car is great, all this good stuff, runs good, drove it. He drove it. I'm like, I think it's good, right? Why not tell somebody this stuff so that way I can give you a better price offer than me spending 9 bands on a car? Like, I get it, 9 bands is really not a lot, but it's a lot of fucking money for someone that lied or didn't give me any information. It's still a lie, but didn't give me any information about the fucking car. So yeah, I mean, it just made me upset. I was dealing with this for a whole 2 months, guys. Like, a whole 2 months. 2 months. I had bought a car, $9,000, and put money into it. I put pretty much about like $2,000 in this car, and I didn't know I needed to, so it made it worse. I didn't know I needed to. I didn't mentally prepare myself about it. I didn't even know. And yeah, you know, there's that whole speculation when you buy stuff used, when people, you kind of expect the worst and everything, blah blah blah. But I'm a type of person to believe, you trust people enough to be like, I give your word, you know, I'm gonna give your word kind of guy, right? So I'm thinking it was good, it drove good, I drove it, and when I have these issues and it didn't even matter, like the way the guy was just doing it and stuff, just displaying how the car was and how it should have been and everything, it just wasn't good. Like, you could have at least told me all this stuff that was wrong with it, so that way I would have gave him a better offer, so that way I would have financially did better with the car. Like, mentally prepare yourself for it, you know, get yourself, know what you're getting into before you get into it. Granted, you know, I got that clutch and everything, and so far everything is fine with the car. Like, everything is fine with it. I get that, I'll get a whole new clutch assembly, put it in there, boom, good to go. Like, it's crazy. Like, if I would have known, like, just tell something. It's like, sell cars, be honest with yourself. Like, because I don't think anybody would want to do that to anybody else. But, you know, you gotta remember, there's piece of shit people in the world. You gotta really believe that. So yeah, just thinking about it just still gets on my nerves, because it's still kind of fresh, still 2 months in. But granted, you know, it could have been a whole lot worse. I could have been on the side of the road with a car that didn't even run, right? So it's like, you just gotta take your blessings with what they are for what they are and everything, you know. Like, I'm glad there's no engine problems, you know, knock on wood. But, you know, car drives and everything, it's just, when it comes to drivetrain issues, I wish he would have been transparent about it, or would have known, because the guy gave me some, when I was talking to him, he was talking about he just let the car sit there. So it didn't click in my head till after the fact of going through all this stuff, like, yo, the car was sitting for a while. You know what I mean? It was sitting for a while. Like, it came to a point where, like, the guy, like, the car has a built engine in it, built bottom end, has K1 rods, some kind of Wiseco pistons, whatever. So it's like some kind of measurements. I give you that, guys, in like the next video or something. But has a built bottom end engine in it. Supposedly, I have not broken down the engine and everything to notice that, but it was a built engine from English Touch Performance down in Florida, where it's closer for him and everything. So it was English Touch Performance, built by English Rob. So I, you know, obviously, you know, when you doing all this kind of stuff, you know, I making sure that this is actually legit. I called the shop, give the guy the name and everything, and found out that all the work was done to it, that it was done to it. So it is true that it does have a built bottom end, you know, stronger internals and stuff like that. But the issue with it is that I still have engine pieces like bearings and some other stuff, but I'm guessing that he didn't get the parts in time to give it to them to put it in the car. But then again, I don't know. You know, it's a lot that I'm going, like, I have to still figuring out with this car, because it's a new platform and it's new shit. So it's like, if anybody out there, you know, you guys know anybody with a BK2 Genesis coupe or whatever, 2.0 turbo R spec or something like that, and that little hole, they probably know more than me, I'm fresh into this, let me know, because I don't know. I don't know much about these cars. But I'm learning. It's a learning process. This whole experience is a learning process. Yeah, it just was a really shitty situation to be dealt with because I had a car that I wasn't able to drive, and I enjoy fucking driving. And when you spend money on something that you want to drive, you expect that shit to drive and people to trust. You expect people to give your word, but that's what you get when you buy something on Facebook Marketplace. Double check, bring your people, do all that stuff. I didn't do that. I trusted it. I mean, it just sounded look good and everything, but I didn't expect to have these issues. Just wish I was known before I bought the car, so that way, if I would have bought the car, I still would have bought the car. I would have had all these issues solved in a week, you know. But then, nevertheless, it was a whole process. And granted, I wish I had the oil. Oh, I think I still do. Still, no, that's not the oil. But this guy claims that this car had 8,000 miles driven on it with the new motor in it. Tell me why the oil, when I first did a first oil change on it, right? The oil, this isn't the oil I'm about to show you guys, not the oil, but the oil in it was about super dark. It was about as dark as this damn car. About as dark as this damn car. Oil came out of it sludgy and shit. Had metallic flakes in it and shit. So I'm like, asking, I'm like, bro, I should have took pictures of it, showed him it. He's like, I may have driven the car more than when it should have been. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, see, automatically, bro. Like, I don't even know if this car's ever had an oil change at that point. Because metal flakings in it. Like, and you had the engine built. I'm pretty sure he didn't change the oil ever since he got that engine back. Probably. But, nevertheless, it's cool. It's fine. Had that, put fresh oil in it. It was great. Fantastic. Didn't tell nobody about that. Another thing. I took the trans out with my friend. Bolts were fucking hand tight on the trans. Shit you not, bro. Wasn't torqued, nothing. Clutch, like the trans was kind of hand bolted tight, like hand tight, bro. That's not normal. It's supposed to be torqued to spec. So that shit had to happen. Deal with that, and then you find out there's fucking sensors in this harness that don't fucking, like, they just lead to nowhere. There's just shit in there. It just leads to nowhere. So I'm just sitting here like, the crankshaft sensor position was already ripped. So when I pulled the trans out with my friend, shit ripped. It was just, wouldn't even hang. I couldn't even save the fucking wire. So yeah, I'm like, I had to buy a new crank sensor. All the sensors are inexpensive. They're like $50. I get it, but it adds up. It's just the principle of not knowing. No one tells you this shit before you get into it. Like, the person selling it should have told me all this shit before. That's the story. So yeah, oil was bad. That little thing I showed you guys, when I bled the clutch, there's no way that clutch fluid should look like this when you're bleeding it. Like, brake fluid should look like this when you're bleeding it. That's not normal. So I showed him that too. You know, brake fluid should not look like that when you're bleeding a clutch. Should not look like that. So I got all that nasty goo out, bleeding it, great. You know, topped it off with newer brake fluid, so it's good. So now I gotta, you know, I don't trust any fluids in this car. Now I'm learning in the Genesis forms. Don't trust any fluid. Do a fresh fluid change on this whole car. 100,000%. 100,000%. Do that. So yeah, like it's dumb. It's so just dumb, but otherwise, like, that main thing, the clutch issue was the main thing, and the power steering was the main thing for me. Powertrain is a big issue. Like, should have told me about that. Granted, I didn't go splurge on a whole new clutch. I just bought a $600 clutch from Clutch Max. Easy, you know, just to get the car by, because I just cared enough to get something new in here and just to get the car running, because I wasn't able to drive the fucking car. So I got a new clutch in there, put that in there, drove it, ran better than the 3 hours I drove it back home. Like 10 times better, bro. Like, put a new crankshaft sensor in there, drove a whole lot, runs a lot better, idles a whole lot fucking better, like a whole lot better. The car is seeming a whole lot better than when the guy took care of it. 100,000%. But yes, those are the main issues I've been dealing with for you guys. So if you guys understand why I was gone for so long, because I was mentally, physically trying to figure this shit out, like figure this whole damn car out, because I wanted to enjoy it. I bought the car to fucking drive it. Obviously, that's the whole motto of it. You bought the car because you paid your hard-earned money on it, and you need a car. I needed a car. So yeah, but despite that point, you guys can talk about it. Have me any questions in the comment section, I'll answer it in the best way I can. And yeah, like now I can go on and talk about the cool shit I found in the car, which really made me buy it. Obviously, Conseil wheels, 19 by 9.5 in the fronts, wrapped around in some Falcon Azenas. Don't know anything about these tires, but it is a size, I think, let me see, 2. Oh, what size are these bad boys? These are 245/35 and 19-inch wheels in the front, and a nice 19 by 10.5, wrapped around in a 275/35 tire. So it's a stagger setup, which is cool beans, cool. I'm okay with the Conseil wheels. Obviously, I'm okay with them. I'm not mad at them. They're cool to run for now. They're cool. I can't put my TEs on here because the bolt patterns are 5 by 114.3, so I can't do it, and I don't want to. It's cool like it is right now. So you just rock it. So yeah, like I said before, bigger intercooler, cool, awesome. Has an open grill, none of that special stuff in it. Has an aftermarket bumper. I think from when I googled it, I think it said I think it's a arc rear bumper, I think. Don't know. It has a ISR track performance exhaust on it. It sounds it's cool. I don't know what these cars are supposed to sound like, so it's new to me. I've been googling it. It sounds cool. It's cool. I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna change that in the future, obviously. But yeah, it's a cool little exhaust ISR performance track edition exhaust system. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it on the outskirts that I've seen so far. Just probably like, see, look at this right here. That's fucking done. Gonna buy a new one. But this is what happens, you know. This is what I want. It's cool. It's a build. This is actually gonna be a fucking build because I gotta do some tender loving care. Let's go ahead and open that inside. Let me get my keys out. Get my keys. Oh, let's talk about this, guys. Also, the parking brake doesn't fucking work. How would it know? So I gotta leave it in gear. And I gotta use my ghetto working parking brake machine. This is my parking brake. Fuck that parking brake. This is my parking brake. Keep my car from rolling. Then another thing, didn't tell me about it. Now I gotta fix that issue too. Look at that, figuring that all out right now. But has the red guts in it. Obviously, as you can see, worn the wires. Going to the sub, I'll show you guys in a bit. But yeah, obviously the interior, not the best. Like, look like someone's been eating on this damn steering wheel. Obviously, cool AM gadgets. Just missing a hole here. This is gonna fucking bother me. It's the R spec, so I didn't get the ultimate big screen on it. Look like somebody fucking dropped some hard shit right here. It's cool. I mean, I don't really have many passengers. If I do, but I don't think it would bother anybody. But obviously, change all this out. Obviously, yeah. Pretty much it. Really, just extra stuff right here. He gave me another. Let me show you guys the rear trunk. The trunk. Where's the trunk? Where's the trunk? Hello? Oh. See? I haven't had the car long enough, so I don't know where these buttons are. Like, I've drove it literally on today's video. Like, whatever this goes up. I think today is the 14th of June. Let me check. Check with you guys. Check with you young boys. It is the 15th. Literally drove this car for the first time yesterday on the 14th. And came with these subs. Big ass subs. Definitely gonna take these out and get something smaller. They sound cool though, not gonna lie. I like that bump and shit. I don't know if you guys know much about what this brand is. I don't know. A friend told me that it's pretty good. pretty good sound system. But some kind of, I can't tell what kind of amplifier he has connected to it because it's so damn big. You can't fucking move this shit. So yeah, it sounds pretty good. It bumps. It bumps. It booms. It does its thing. It does its thing. But damn, did you hear that damn dog? Fucking crazy. Let's see what's next. So the guy gave me like a goodie basket. Like I told you, he gave me bearings, like performance bearings, new, everything. He gave me all that stuff. Like gave me that, bearings, gave me bigger injectors. Don't know what they are. Bigger injectors, and I kid you not, he gave me a Haltech ECU. And it shows right here because it's already plugged in. Like this is where I would put the computer to do the tuning. Like it's already installed. Haltech ECU already there, just brand new in the box. He gave me that. He gave me what else did he give me? Haltech ECU, and he gave me some, I don't know, I don't remember. I'll show you guys some part of this video. I'll put it in there. But yeah, he gave me all these like good shit, like expensive shit, like some expensive shit. Like he told me before, the guy told me that he ran out of time, money in this build. He was expecting to go big turbo and shit, blah blah blah. That's why he built the motor, because apparently the motor has, these motors are notorious to breaking rods or spinning rods and shit. So he built the bottom end of it to hold more boost and put more stuff in it to handle more power. So yeah, so the car has, like I said before early in this video, has a built bottom end motor, bigger pistons, new rods. I'm guessing from when I talked to the shop, it had I guess newer bearings and whatever. Oh, he gave me springs. He gave me valve springs too. So this has HKS blow off valve, has whatever this dusty intake is. Seen some fucking better days. Gonna have to change that too. Has a catch can, PCV can, and you know, oil catch can and PCV line. Has strut bar, don't know where it's from. Has some heater hoses everywhere. Yeah, it's just a lot of cool shit. Bigger intercooler, like I said. Oh, also the car came with me, I kid you not, no coolant, but I put coolant in it now. When I first got it, it didn't have no fucking coolant in it. It didn't have no coolant in it. Didn't tell me that either. Had to find that out the hard way. Had no coolant in it. But yeah, it still has a factory turbo on it. And stock manifold, obviously. It has no cats, just has an ISR downpipe, ISR full exhaust all the way through. It's on ISR coilovers all the way around, front, rear. There's a whole list of bullshit he got right here. So yeah, it's just, yeah, it's pretty cool little bay. It was cool. I got a lot of goodies for this price. That's what made me want this car, because it had all this shit done to it. And you guys know I had a 2022 Subaru BRZ, and I was gonna do some crazy shit with it, but then I had this happen, so I was like, I didn't feel like starting over with a new car payment. I didn't want to. I just wanted something kind of already modified, not too crazy, just, and then do it my fucking way. So this is what I wanted. This is what I got now. So yeah, so this is cool. This is what got me into it. If I got a built bottom end motor for $9,000, that was a steal for me. But then again, I had to deal with the clutch and the negligence of the, you know, car. You know, bad ownership, just didn't give a fuck about it because he ran out of time and money with it. No excuse, but still. Yeah, you get a lot of cool stuff with this car, and I can't wait to tap into it with you guys, show the world, you know, what you can do with this car. Because number one, number two, I'm gonna make this car not a pretty Jenny. I'm not gonna make it the prettiest looking Jenny, like a show car, like majority Genesis you see on the road. I'm gonna make this into a fucking car, like a race car. Make this shit go fast, make it perform better. I just want to be able to hit corners. at 100 miles per hour and not have to hit the brakes. You know, that's what I want to do. I want to go fast, and that's what I'm going to show you guys. This is going to be an actual build. Can you consider this a project car? Let me know in the comment section. Do you consider this a project car? I don't know, but yeah, it's cool shit. Like the owner of it, you know, previous owner or not, you know, he said he was planning on making, you know, 500, 600 horsepower in this damn car, you know. And I talked to the shop and told them everything that's pretty much done to it from what I've been told, and they said this motor is about good for around 500. So what we're gonna do about 500, and then go from there. We're gonna do about 500, close to 500 as possible, and see if it's really true. You know, it drives, it runs fine. It's tuned by Alpha Speed. Don't know the name, don't remember the name, but tuned by Alpha Speed. I think it has the show tune because it pops and shoots flames. But yeah, definitely peak. I think the peak boost in the car is 19 pounds. 19 pounds, I think he told me, and he said it makes about like 300 horsepower. But I would have believed it when I first drove it, but right now it feels a lot better. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm obviously gonna take, you know, I'm gonna take it to the dyno and see what it actually makes, because I don't know, you know, with these cars. I don't know, but I don't really have a good dyno, but I would say it's a little over 300 possibly, but who knows, I could be fucking wrong. But it gets up there, it gets really high up there when you get on it. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really, dude. It's like, this is the car I got now. This is the car for the channel. This is gonna be the car I'll be making content on until I get my new car, until I get a new car, because it's gonna be a new car. And when I save my money up to get a new car, then we can do some crazier shit with this. But obviously the plans for it on the top of my head right now, make close to 500 on it. You know, make it as quick possible, make it better, make it perform better, just make it overall my taste. Just make it my car. Make it my car for now. That's just on the top of my head. Just make it better. Make it what it was meant to do. You know, because the other owner just, obviously, like I said before, he didn't have the time or money. So I'm going to make the time and the money for it. And I'm going to do what it was meant to fucking do. And do some crazy shit with it for you guys. It's not really a popular platform, but, you know, I like to be a little different. You know, do a little crazy shit. Do a little different shit, you know, compared to what other people do. And these cars don't really, you don't see a lot of these cars doing a lot of like turning, you know, like being used for that on the internet. And from what owners usually do with them, they like to keep them nice and pretty and shit. Me, nah, it's not gonna be nice and pretty. It's gonna be pretty to my eye. It's gonna be pretty. I'm gonna try to make it pretty and make it pretty and functional, you know, pretty and functional to my best of my abilities. Yeah, that's my goals with the car right now, but obviously one step at a time. Gotta get this fucking parking brake fixed, and yeah, parking brake fixed, new trans fluid in it, and go from there. And yeah, I really like this platform. I've always did. It's just kind of deja vu because I tried to buy one back in like 2021 and I got told no. But it's crazy how I ended up with one in the first place. Obviously it's not the 3.8 but V6, but I wasn't really like, I didn't really care because it's like I'm getting a built bottom end motor, you know, 2.0 turbo. It has a turbo. This is my first turbo car, so this is gonna be fucking fun. You know, I get to experience a turbo in my own hands for the first time and actually experience what that's like, and it feels fucking great. Like, it feels great, brothers. It feels great. But yeah, that's the car, my 2013 Hyundai Genesis. I don't know if I'm gonna put a driving impression in this car in this video, but if I don't, it's just be in another video, just me driving it and just driving it, like a little short video, whatever. But I'm pretty sure this video is already too long. But yeah, that's the car. This is the car. Hope, let me know what you guys think. What do you suggest? What do you want to see? Just let me know. Like, this is the car gonna be for about however long until we get something else on the channel. But I do want to do something crazy with this car and be different, but not your typical different, but just be me. Be me, but be different. That's what I want to do. So, yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. Go crazy in there. Let me know. I answer all the questions and everything. Yeah. The car also has a fuel pump. It also has a fuel pump. And I didn't even tell you guys about how many miles was on this fucking car. This chassis. So, we're going to just do this, right? So, we're going to do this. Hear that pump? Alright, yep. Ooh, turn on the AC. It has 169,003 high fucking mileage. I know. $9,000 for this piece of shit. I know. But look at all the shit I got. I'll show you guys the shit I got. Like, I got a bunch of shit that I didn't have to pay for. So it's like, I see it as a take and give situation here. But yeah, it's crazy. Whole Christmas tree right there, boys. Whole Christmas tree. But yeah, 169 is a lot of miles on here. But I got a lot of shit. A lot of shit. I think a lot of shit. Yeah, fuel pump is in here. I'm gonna check that out, make a video with that too, and see if he even changed the fucking filter on it. Because there was a filter in the box that he gave me that the fuel pump came out of, so I don't fucking trust him. So we're gonna do a video about that and see if he did or didn't. Other than that, I will catch you guys in the next video.